You're sitting in a crowded cafe, minding your own business, when suddenly you lock eyes with a stranger across the room. Time seems to stretch out. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and she still hasn't looked away from you. Instantly, your heart races. Your brain kicks into overdrive, trying to figure out if she's actually interested or if she's just awkwardly caught in a polite stare. Most guys in this exact situation default to immediate panic. They nervously look at their phone, quickly turn their head, or freeze into a rigid stare. When that gaze holds, the interaction shifts from a coincidence to a form of evaluation. Whether conscious or not, her brain is gauging how you respond to being seen, deciding in that tiny window if you're quietly confident or out of your depths. To understand what happens in that cafe, we have to look back at human evolutionary biology. Long before we had complex vocabularies, we relied on nonverbal signals to survive. This chart maps out the primary methods of human communication over time. Notice how prolonged eye contact and gaze analysis predate both spoken language and the written word as our tools for reading intentions and gauging potential threats. When two people lock eyes for more than a passing glance, it activates a deeply ingrained biological response, splitting our subconscious reaction into two distinct pathways, a potential threat or a potential connection. In a modern, non-combat setting like a cafe, following that connection pathway signals that you are grounded and comfortable with the attention you're receiving. That very first second of sustained eye contact strips away modern social conditioning. It forces a raw, ancient biological interaction to the surface. As the clock ticks into the second, the dynamic shifts. The interaction moves from simple awareness to a subtle assessment of your composure. She is observing whether or not you have the psychological endurance to withstand direct emotional scrutiny without breaking under the pressure. If you flinch and break the connection too early, physically dropping your eyes to the floor or swiftly turning your head away broadcasts internal anxiety to the other person. On the other extreme, locking on indefinitely without breaking the gaze pushes you past confidence. It registers as an aggressive or uncomfortable presence. Missing the mark on either side suggests a lack of emotional control. The goal is to find true composure right in the middle. That brings us right back to the cafe and the critical third second of the interaction. The pressure is peaking. To successfully navigate this moment, you must match her gaze for exactly 3 seconds, holding your ground with physical stillness. You cannot smirk, raise your eyebrows, or widen your eyes. Over-emoting in this fraction of a second looks like a nervous attempt to diffuse the tension you're feeling. Staying calm and grounded through that 3-second threshold demonstrates you are steady under external social pressure. Once you hit that 3-second mark, you need a clean exit strategy. Deliver a very slight nod or a brief, subtle smile. Then you calmly look away. You break the connection on your own terms, rather than waiting in a standoff for her to drop her gaze first. This creates an immediate shift in how you are perceived. You've communicated interest while maintaining a high level of self-assurance. Most men rely on loud, performative bravado to get noticed in a room, but quiet, composed control communicates a much deeper level of social power. Attraction is driven by psychological awareness. Mastering this invisible language makes the difference between going unnoticed and being the person she remembers.